Hey guys, so doing another step-by-step. This one's going to be the Technical Analyst. So if you watch that YouTube video, what we did was we were able to talk to an agent, feed in a stock ticker, and then it would hit a tool to hit this API called chart-image. It's free. You're going to get 50 daily calls, and it's going to give you a picture of a chart like this. And then we're going to feed that into like an analyze image node that's going to analyze it and then give us a breakdown of that chart. So how this is going to work is we're going to use a Telegram trigger real quick on message. So that's going to be our trigger. To this, we are going to connect an AI agent, of course. And first thing we want to do is the data that's being fed into this agent is going to be the data that we send over in our Telegram. So it's not going to be from the connected chat trigger node. We're going to grab from defined below. And let's actually test this step. Okay, it's not going to work because we have to connect a chat model real quick to our agent. So let's just hook up 4.0 mini. We'll test the step. Now it's listening for us. Okay, I don't know what the issue is now. Okay, it's because there's no text. Goodness gracious. Anyways, we'll test the step. Now it's listening. Now we can come in here and say, hey. So it just got hey. As you can see right here, text is hey. And so that's what we want the agent to be seeing dynamically is whatever we type into Telegram. So that's where we're going to grab text from our Telegram trigger, which is json.message.text. We could also reference this by going to Telegram trigger dot item dot json dot message dot text. There we go. Now we have hey. So we'll leave it like that just so you can see it's coming from the Telegram trigger. And cool. So this is what we're at right now. And in the video, what I did was I created a separate workflow to call. And we call that by using this tool called call NNN workflow. And so in the video, I called a separate workflow to actually get the chart and analyze it. But what we're going to do in this video is do that all within one workflow. So the way that that works is we're going to add an execute sub workflow node as a trigger. So same way we'd start off a different workflow. But now instead of choosing workflow from a list, so this is all the workflows in your environment that you could have as a sub workflow as long as it starts with this trigger. But instead of calling it by this way, we're going to do ID. And we're going to grab the ID of this workflow up here because we're really not able to call the workflow we're sitting in, and that's just the workaround for if you want to have the other tool in this environment right now. So we're just going to call this tool chart. So call it chart here and here. We're going to say call this tool to analyze we'll just say to analyze a stock ticker. So we're going to make sure that it passes over a stock ticker. And what I want to do in this one is enhance it a little bit. So in the video, we just sent over a ticker and we basically hard coded in the exchange was going to be NASDAQ. So if we go to this documentation and we look at this example request, you can see we have symbol, we have the exchange, which is NASDAQ, and then Tesla, which is the ticker. And so in the body parameters, we know that what we're sending over is the symbol and it has to be exchange : symbol. But we want to maybe enhance this agent to be able to look at things that aren't traded on NASDAQ. So we're going to make the agent output an exchange and a symbol based on the ticker that comes through. So, so that's what we're going to do. And how I think we should do this is by requiring a specific output format and then adding an output parser. So, actually, I have an idea. That could be kind of cool. What I'm thinking is we could actually just make this kind of a linear flow rather than having the agent call on it. And I want to do that, but then it's like I'm not showing you guys the same build. Okay, so no, let's not do it like this. Let's not overcomplicate it. We'll do it a different way. So what we're going to do is we are going to feed in a stock ticker, and then the agent's going to grab the exchange for that stock ticker and the ticker and then send it to this tool. So what we want to do in this workflow over here is, I can never move this darn thing. There we go. We want to define the fields below. So we're going to define the first field that we want is going to be called ticker. It's going to be a string. Second field that we want is going to be called, oh my gosh, this is going to kill me. Second thing that we want is going to be called exchange. So now that we've done that, we'll get extra workflow inputs in here. Well, we should eventually. Maybe we have to like call it first. Let's save that. Let's try to refresh this and see if we get the extra workflow inputs. Okay, there we go, ticker exchange. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add this, the AI is gonna figure out how to grab these. So from AI, we're gonna say, you know, this is just gonna be ticker. I'll put stock ticker just to make it a little more intuitive. And so make sure these are expressions. You'll see them gray. If they're not gray, or if they're not expression, it's gonna just be white. But then in this one, we're gonna do exchange. And that should be good enough, we will see. And now we wanna give this guy a brief system prompt. So we're gonna basically just be chipping away and testing at this thing. We're gonna start by giving it an overview. And this is gonna say, you are a technical analyst. Your job is to take, no, not your job. We're gonna say you will receive a stock ticker. You need to call the chart tool to analyze the stock. And then I'm just gonna give it one basically rule within its tool. So tool is gonna be chart with a lowercase c. And we're gonna say you must send ticker and the exchange that it's traded on to this tool. Okay, so that's the first test run we're gonna go with. We're gonna hit test workflow, and I'm just gonna say Tesla, and we wanna see if it can turn Tesla into a ticker as well as an exchange. So let's see what it sent over. Tesla and NASDAQ, awesome. So that's huge, and that's very minimal prompting, and that's also using Forum Mini. So if we click on executions now, we can see that this basically did 2 executions. Here's the first one, where we sent over on Telegram trigger, you know, we said, right here you can see, all we said was Tesla. And then the second run is the workflow right here that it got called. And all that happened obviously was this first thing, which was the execute workflow trigger, but we can see we got the ticker and the exchange back. Cool. So now that we know that's coming through, actually what I'm gonna do real quick is in this execution of the workflow, the second one down here, I'm gonna click copy to editor. Now we have this data pinned to play with. So this is gonna be our test data. Cool. So now that we have our test data, what I'm gonna do is we're pretty much just gonna send off that HTTP request to get chart. So how it's gonna work is we're gonna use curl, of course. So in get chart, you gotta sign in, grab an API key. I already have mine, so I'll show you guys how I set that up with the header off. But we're gonna look for, so let's say we want this chart. Do we want this chart? No, we want one that has, like, we can specify the symbol. So let's see. We'll do this one. Okay, so I copied that curl statement, and now I can come in here and click import curl, get rid of the top line, which is a comment, and import that. So it changed to a post request. It changed to the base URL. One thing though that we do want to do is we want the endpoint to have storage. So basically it's going to be grabbing, as you can see, advanced chart to storage. This endpoint saves images to public storage and can be used to publish your chart to anyone. So this is going to give us a URL that's publicly accessible. And so all I have to do is, as you can see, the endpoint is /storage. And so everything else is the same in here, but then we just need to end it with storage. So that's why I did that. And now you can see our header parameters. We have our API key and then the API key. I'm going to get rid of this. We're not going to send headers because I have already created a generic credential type for this API. Right here, I can choose chart image. So this was just me setting up the header parameters the exact same way. As you can see, x-API key, and then I put in my API key right there. Cool. So now we need to change the actual post request to an expression. And this is going to be really easy. All we need to do is change out the exchange for the exchange, and then change out the ticker for the ticker. So now we have NASDAQ Tesla coming through. We can go ahead and hit test step, and we can see how this comes back. Now what we want to do is, from here we want to be getting a URL that we can download with the next node. So this isn't what we want because this actually gave us the chart, I'm pretty sure. So this is the URL we want. As you can see, if I was to go to this address, we'd be getting that chart that it just made for us for Tesla. But we don't want it as binary. So what we want to do is return as JSON. We'll try that again. And so hopefully we're getting the URL as a field that we can access. There we go. So there's the URL. And now what we can do is just send a simple GET request to that URL. So this is going to be download chart. This one's going to be get chart, I guess. Oop. Get chart. Okay, cool. So we've got that. We've got that. Let's make sure that we can download this URL correctly. This is just going to be a GET request to that image. As you can see, bam, there's our Tesla. And from here, it's real simple. We're going to do a OpenAI. We're going to do analyze an image. We're going to be looking for, first let's choose our model. Let me connect the right credential. Let's do 4.0 in this case. So 4.0. And then we need to connect the URL, which, no, wait, binary. Okay, binary. So it's looking for the input data field, which is data right here. We don't want to simplify the output. That basically just means it may be shortened. So let's look at our options. No, we're good there. And then all we want to do really is, I'm just going to copy in this system prompt for the analysis, which is, I know I asked ChatGPT for this. So basically your role as a financial analyst specializing in technical analysis of stock charts. Your role is to analyze financial charts provided to you and offer comprehensive insights into the technical aspects like candlestick patterns, MACD, volume, market sentiment, provide a detailed breakdown of the chart, highlighting key areas of interest and actionable insights. So anyways, we've got candlestick, MACD, volume, support, actionable insights, other observations. Be clear and concise and data-driven in your analysis. Your goal is to provide an actionable information that traders and investors can use to make informed decisions. Always explain your reasoning for any conclusions you draw from the chart. Cool, so we'll give this a test run and just see what kind of analysis we get back. And then from here, all that's left to set up are two things. The first one is sending that chart back to our Telegram, because it's a binary file. Although, actually no, what we do is we just reference the URL, which is pretty cool. So here's the analysis. I hate reading it in this context, so we'll read it when we get in Telegram. So we've got the analysis, and now we need to add a Telegram node. What we're going to do in this one is we are sending a photo. So we'll look in the message action, send a photo message. Now, this is interesting because we have the option to send a binary. What I did was I didn't send a binary. I ended up just sending a, the URL that we get back from the first one that downloads the chart. So right here, this is what I end up sending. You have the option to send binary though, which would be pretty interesting. Either way, what we want to do is turn off the no append Telegram attribution, our chat ID, so we know that we need to grab this from our trigger. So I'm actually just going to, oh, that's annoying. Okay, let me just fill this in. Of course, I forgot what our thing was, so we're gonna grab our chat ID from here. Awesome. We can throw that now into chat ID field. And of course you could try to reference it, but we're just going to throw this in as fixed. This is my chat ID. Cool. Just organize ourselves. Okay, so now this process would run end to end and send the chart, but we have to actually give a response back. So what we're looking for is the response from OpenAI. We want to respond with the content of what it said. So we're going to grab a set field. We're going to call this response, but more importantly, we have to call the actual field response. Maybe we don't. That's just force a habit, because this one just says, this tool will call the workflow you define below and look in the last node for the response. It used to say you had to set it as response, so I always just do it out of habit. Anyways, our response needs to be an expression because it's going to be changing every time. What we want to do is we want to grab it from the OpenAI node. We will be looking at the item.message.content, I believe. We'll see. And let's just actually go ahead and do a test run from here. So we're just going to be using the pin data. It's getting the chart. We're going to download it, analyze it. We're just going to test out manually to see if this is working. So now it's going to do the analysis. We will be able to see if it's going to send us a picture in our Telegram as well. So just bear with me here. There we go. Let's send that over. See what we get. Okay, there's the image. Cool. And then now let's look in this node. Okay, so I guessed wrong. Anyways, we're going to be looking through the OpenAI node, and now we can start to drill down. So we have .item, .json, let's see, where do I need to go? I wanted to try to do it without looking. So .item, .json. I swear it's .message. That's what I'm looking at. Maybe I went to the wrong one. You know what? I'm just going to cheat. Just going to do it the easy way. Why bother trying to code .item.json, .choices. Cool. So item.json, .choices, .message, .content. Cool. Now we have the actual analysis right here. So we can give it a quick read. This thing is going to kill me. So candlestick analysis, significant patterns. Recently, there is a prominent bearish candlestick displaying a sharp decline. The overall trend is the chart shows a transition from bullish to a more bearish sentiment with the recent decline. MACD, current state the MACD line is below the signal line, indicative of a bearish crossover. This suggests increased bearish momentum. Volume analysis, recent weeks show elevated traded volume coinciding with the price decline, reinforcing the bearish movement. So Tesla's looking kind of bearish right now, apparently. And then actually, this kind of looks like it cut off. So that doesn't look completely right. Let's see what actually came back from the content. Yeah, doesn't that seems not right. It kind of just got cut off. And I really don't know why that is. I'm going to run this again and just see what happens. Definitely looks like it just got cut off mid-sentence for some reason. I don't know if that has to do with, I don't think it was the model or what it is. Is there like a max? That's really weird. And simplify is turned off. So length of description, maybe it's max tokens. So that used, maybe we just have to increase the max tokens. Let's try 600. I mean, analyzing a stock chart like that, it's probably going to be a lot. I could maybe tell it to be more concise in its answer. And then what we could do is once we have our analysis from this node, the main agent will say, use this to provide maybe a more detailed analysis. Obviously, it doesn't have the context of the picture. But, okay, so in this case, it used 420 tokens. And, okay, it comes down to a full conclusion with the market sentiment. Okay, so that's what it was. And honestly, now I feel a little guilty because probably in my YouTube video, that was getting cut. Either way. There's the picture once again. It does look kind of bearish as of lately, right? And then what we're going to do is we will grab that response, which now is a full response, full tokens, and we can send that over to the main agent. So the agent will get that and basically respond to the human. Well, not yet. We have to set up the Telegram trigger. And just keep in mind, this is the only prompting we've done here. And yeah. So let's add, basically has to make sure that it responds to the agent or to the human. So we're going to add Telegram. We're going to be just sending a chat message, which should be down here. Send a text message, grab that chat ID, and then the text is going to be an expression, which is going to be the output from the agent, which is going to be JSON.output. So we've got that. Reply markup, no. We're going to turn off the append n8n attribution so it doesn't say that this was automatically sent by n8n, and we'll hit save. So now we're going to do a test. We're going to try something else. So first, let's just try hitting test workflow and saying, oh, hold on, stop the workflow. When I hit test, it goes to test the pin data. So we got to get rid of that. So we'll save this again, hit test workflow. Cool. Now we're waiting for Telegram. I'm going to say analyze. Actually, no, we're going to not say the ticker. We're going to say NVIDIA and see what it does. So hopefully that's sending over the correct information to the chart tool. We'll see what it does. The correct exchange and the correct ticker. And so, yeah, Jan, if you're watching this one, I know you were trying to do this with a message model node, but I said, maybe the LLM can also just get the ticker without having to. So there's NVIDIA. So it looks like it sent over the correct. Oh, we already got the response back. Okay. So here is our analysis. Cool. It's a full summary. It even ended with other observations. We obviously could prompt the way that we want this output to look. we will see that if we sent over NVIDIA and NASDAQ, so that's great. And so we need to try a ticker that's not on, that's not traded on the NASDAQ. So what's a stock not traded on NASDAQ? And we'll just grab a random one. Stock not traded, we need examples. Yeah, I know. I worked at Goldman. I should know this, right? Okay, cool. So here we've got a list of companies on the New York Stock Exchange. Let's go with Bank of America. So back in our analyst, analyze Bank of America. So I really hope that this one's able to grab that correct ticker, grab the correct exchange. We will see. Otherwise, all we'll have to do really is we would just have to work in a search functionality somewhere that it could go and look up, a company's name and get back the ticker and the, oh, looks like it did. So there's Bank of America on the New York Stock Exchange. Perfect. Cool. So awesome. Yeah, this is cool. I'm really glad that the agent was able to do that. We were able to specify the workflow inputs really nice. So, it's going to be even better now. And basically, just so what, to tell you guys what I was thinking is, this process is the same thing, right? So like maybe it doesn't need to be a parent-child where we have the parent up here with the child workflow. This could really just be like the first one gets the ticker and the exchange, structured output, passes it through, and then like essentially all of this could just go right here. Do you know what I mean? Because this all happens sequentially the same time or the same thing every time, and then we just respond to the agent way down here with Telegram whenever this process is done. But for now, this is good. It builds some skills as far as like data passing, data transfer, obviously a little bit of prompting in there, and just understanding how we're getting data here and then we're sending it back over here. But yeah, hope that one was helpful and we enhanced the workflow a little bit. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.